Hi, everyone. Welcome to our fifth episode of our Redbox Studio Facebook Live series. And today I have with me someone who is a friend of mine, as well as someone who is right now in New South Wales, Australia. So, Hayley, can you say hello?
Hi, Krista. Great to see you.
Hi. So today we are going to talk about getting cash flow into your business. And I'm really excited because Hayley is going to share with us some of the interesting tips and techniques she has used to train other people. And she will share this important stuff with us because, as we know, right now we're in the middle of the pandemic, COVID-19, and we are seeing a lot of businesses suffer. So it is a reality for big and small businesses. So this topic is definitely relevant to all of us today, especially if you're in business, especially if you are perhaps feeling a little bit down, a little bit depressed about the lack of sales, and perhaps also a little bit unsure of what you're going to do for your marketing moving forward. So that is where today's topic is going to help you think through your business, as well as give you some fresh ideas and fresh techniques. Perhaps maybe some of these techniques, perhaps some of us do know about it, but perhaps we've never really taken them to heart and used them seriously in our business. So Hayley today is going to teach and talk to us all about them. So before we get started, I would like to introduce Hayley properly. Okay.
Thanks,
So
Krista.
yes. So let me just briefly go through her profile. So today we are speaking with Hayley James from New South Wales, Australia. She is a seasoned speaker and trainer in sales and marketing. Her business, Fast Track Business Success, helps entrepreneurs close more sales and increase their business revenue more effectively. She knows a lot about business as she has owned a beauty salon, skin clinic, and an NLP training and seminar company. She has trained and mentored entrepreneurs in Malaysia, UK, Vietnam, and Australia, and her most recent project was with Volvo Australia, where she trained their sales teams. So we're really in good hands today. She is the author of two books, Hot Off the Press and 45-Minute Business Transformation, and the co-author of How to Get a Bigger Bite Out of Life. Stay till the end as we have an ebook for you, one that's written by Hayley and giving you the exact words to use when you want to get more customers. It shows you the 5 best approaches to use and 5 major opportunities for your customers to say yes to you. Now, that to me is pretty exciting. So, Hayley, welcome again to our Redbox Studio Facebook Live series. We're so excited to have you here. So, let's begin with a question for those of you who are watching right now and who are entrepreneurs or who are running your own business. Okay, what's your biggest challenge when it comes to what's the biggest challenge in business right now? So let me just remove this from the stream and we'll put up the question. Okay, for
It's a
those who
great question, Krista, because I think a lot of people at the moment are feeling overwhelmed and maybe in a bit of state of stuck. You know, what do I do first? There's so many options that you can implement in your business. It's knowing which tactic or strategy to use that is going to be the most effective for what you need right now.
Yeah. So for those of you who's just joined us, welcome. And I think, yes, Layong, hi. She's saying, hi, Hayley and Krista. Hi. Thank you for joining us, Layong. I know you're super busy, but yes, you made time to join us. So for those who have joined us right now, can you just quickly type into the comments, what's your biggest challenge in business right now? So at least we know and we can help you with some of your challenges or even some of the questions that may come up later. So while we wait for more people to join into the stream, so Hayley, let's talk about you and me and how we got started first, how we met actually. That would be interesting.
That was easy. We met over about 2.5 years ago over coffee through a mutual friend who I was reaching out to her network and asking her who she knew in business who would be a good connection for me, and
Okay.
she introduced me to you, and we met for coffee, and it was through that conversation that we had that I learned about the business, women's business networking group, Women's Biz Sense, and it really started from there, didn't it?
Yeah. And I was actually pretty surprised because when I got that, I think it was a text message from you. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I'm not too sure. Do I know this lady? But since you asked to, just to meet for coffee, I said, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, I'm always open to meeting new friends. I'm always open to talking to people. So that's how we met, right? And right here in Penang. So for those of you who are a bit confused, like, how come she's in Australia and how come we're talking about Hayley in Penang? Well, Hayley used to live in Penang. And Hayley still loves living in Penang. She had a chance to do so. So that's how we met. A lot of the times, the people that I feature on our Facebook Live series are friends of ours, or even clients, people that we know. Because I also feel that a lot of times, the people around us have very interesting insights to share. And so when Hayley asked me, I think about a week and a half ago, for a testimonial, right? You asked me for a testimonial. I said, yeah. And I said, besides the testimonial, perhaps you could get on a Facebook Live together. And you immediately said yes. So I'm really thankful too.
I think that's the key. It's about collaboration, and it's when you work at your networking, it's not about what I can get from you. It's about what we can do to support each other. So it was really, really win-win on both sides. You very kindly offered to do that testimonial for me, which was fantastic. So I was very gladly wanting to reciprocate. So it was easy. So if you approach your networking and your connections in a way that is more collaborative, it's easy, and it's more like friends helping friends.
Yeah. So that's why I feel like it is more friends helping friends rather than just a direct business transaction. Okay, so while we wait for people to answer, I think we kind of need some warming up. So let's get directly into some of the questions that I have for you, right?
Okay.
So besides, we're waiting for them to. What do you think most business owners don't do enough of?
I think that business owners don't capture their customer information enough. It doesn't matter what industry, business, services industry, whether you're selling a widget, a gadget, a product, a service, or what industry that you're in. If you don't capture your customers' information, basic information, then the cost of acquiring a customer is just going to, cost you at the end of the day. And then, so it's capturing their information and then doing something with that information, nurturing that list and starting to have touch points with that customer along their customer journey. So apparently it takes about 7 to 9 touch points for a customer to sort of really feel like they're part and connected to you. So a one-time transaction is very hit and miss. We need to really nurture and look after that customer and treat them like they're part of our community from day one.
Okay. Is this similar across different cultures? Like you're in Australia and I'm in Malaysia. Is it any difference that you see between small businesses in Malaysia and how businesses is run in Australia in terms of this capturing customer data?
I think it is just the understanding of the business, that it's a basic business practice that everyone should employ, not regardless of whether you're a florist or you're somebody who sells, a product. It's at a regular store or craft fair or something of that nature. You really need to have some sort of system, and that's a worldwide thing for sure.
Okay. So because I work with a lot of small businesses over here, and I also noticed that a lot of them, they're sitting on a gold mine.
Yes.
they have all this information. I mean, they get the customer's details as the customer buys or purchases from their shop. They also get them to drop their business cards into, like, this basket or this bowl for raffles and all this stuff. But they don't really do anything right after that. So what would be some of your recommendations? Just say like someone owns a shop and he or she has all this customer data, and perhaps they're all in bits and pieces, right? It could be in business cards that they have a bunch of, or it could be some form that they made their customer write their name and phone and emailed out. So how would they, or how should they start this process?
Sure. I mean, you don't need to have a sophisticated CRM, customer relationship management database in order to capture information. You can create a simple Excel spreadsheet with name, address, phone number, and do a copy-paste exercise in your emails, for bulk emails, or for SMSing as well, or WhatsApping. So in the beginning, if you do it regularly, then it isn't a big task. And if you're adding 100 clients or customers into that funnel on a weekly basis and doing it regularly, then it's not too big a task to do. And then you can start to outsource that task to someone else later on. But just a simple Excel spreadsheet will be fine. You don't need a sophisticated system to capture the data. But a QR code is one of the quickest ways that you can gather someone's information. So having someone just come on and like your page on Facebook isn't sufficient. It's not enough to you haven't got the information fully. So you need to be able to claim and have their authorization for gathering that information.
Yeah, I think that's a great tip, because a lot of people think, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. I have hundreds and hundreds of business cards in my hand. I can't do anything. A simple system, nothing too technical, nothing too overly complicated, that gets them started. And someone a part-timer can even come in to just help them collate all this information properly, right? So yeah, great way to get started.
You can actually segment your customers depending on how you found them or how those customers found you. So if they've come to your premises, then that's that collection of customers, and you want to nurture them to become customers again. Or if you've met them at a networking event, or you've met them at an event, a stall, where you've had a table and a showing of your products and services, then that would be another list of customers. So you can segment those lists so that you can be delivering information and doing those touch points of sending out emails and to them on a regular basis based on how you met each other.
Okay, great way to start off our Facebook Live today. Now I see that there are questions, or at least someone puts in there. Yes, fantastic. So we're going to have some. Okay, hi Gina. Gina's here.
Hi Gina.
A lot of women business ladies are here. Hi Kim. Well, Kim knows you too.
Fantastic.
You've got all your fans and friends here. Okay, so Mala has a question. So let me just pull this up. So she says, current challenge, how to decide on price point for products or services, now expected to be reduced given that almost all will be sold online. For reference, PR and editorial services. So good question, Mala. Thank you.
Yes, fantastic. Thanks, Mala. I think that price is always going to be a sensitive issue if we let it be a sensitive issue. One of the best ways to overcome price, or to shift your thinking on price, is not to have a price comparison situation where you're looking at apples for apples comparisons between yourself and your services and that of your competitors. If you actually price your services in bundles so that you are adding value by adding additional services to your package bundle, then no one can actually compare you to someone else on price, because now you're in an apples to oranges scenario. So think about those aspects of your business where you add value anyway, but perhaps you haven't communicated that in your package pricing. So there's a lot of stuff that we all do in our businesses that we take for granted. But if you asked your a customer, they might say, "Oh, I didn't know you did that." So introduce those services into your whole package so that it is adding value to what it is that you do. And then that's putting a price on it where you know that meets all your obligations in terms of being able to make your sales and revenues and a profit. And a price that's in a value bundle means that people cannot shop on price alone. That's the key.
Okay. Can I also say that it means taking some of your best stuff and calling it out in a different way? Would that be part and parcel of it?
Yes,
right?
definitely.
Because sometimes we tend to lump everything into one package, and our packages are compared to another provider or another business service provider's package, and it's like, of course, it's the same, right? Because it's named the same. But if we were to take out certain elements of it or certain parts or components and use that, I think that would actually help differentiate a lot of what they're trying to compare, right?
And especially with Marla's business in the PR and the coaching, professional services, there'll be perhaps three or four tiers within your product services where you can offer different levels of service depending on what their price point might be. So if somebody can't, and this is upselling and downselling. So if somebody can't afford your big ticket item, well, then you can offer them the next item, or then the next item, or a do-it-yourself kind of option at the end. So yes, segment your whole range of services so that you have different price points, and people can then make informed choices based on what they want and what's so long as you've clearly outlined what is in each of those areas and options for them, then your client will actually opt for one of those. But if you only give one option, there's only one option.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And they don't see the differences in what you're offering in each of the different packages that you have for them, right? Okay, Kim has a question for us. Okay, let me pull up Kim's question. She says, happy to see Hayley and Krista. Yes, nice to see you, Kim. Current challenge, transitioning to webinars or virtual meetings. That's a common one these days.
Sure is.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think we just have to jump in, and that's how we get comfortable. And sometimes it's not about being perfect. It's not about having all your ducks lined up in a row. It's about being authentic, and it's about being your true self, and that will shine through, and people will make allowances for you for just being natural, being yourself, not being perfect, because who is perfect? And even making a joke of it. If you've had a little technical hitch, then talk about it and say, has this ever happened to you? I'm just having a little technical hitch here. And it just makes you more real and makes you more endearing and connecting to your virtual audience. So I just encourage you to jump in, give it a go, start off small and work, but baby steps and work up.
Yeah. So I think a lot of times, even before we got on this live, remember, Hayley, we were just having a conversation at the back end saying that, oh, what are some of the things that we're working on and all that. We always get kind of like stuck at the technical side of things, and we feel that we can't climb that mountain, but we still have to power through, right? If we think of our message that is important, that we want to convey to the audience that really needs to hear it, I think we would take that step. And like you say, baby steps, right? Just take baby steps.
Yes.
One step at a time, right? So thanks, Kim, for that interesting question. Maybe the other part, maybe the webinar part, one part could be technical. I can definitely attest to that. One part is definitely technical. Figuring out which buttons to press.
Yes.
What you want to do in the webinar software. What do you click? How do you do all these things? Maybe the other thing could be that you could hire someone or get someone to help you out with the technical bits if that's too much for you to handle while you're also presenting the webinar. So
Yes.
I think sometimes people get stuck like, I have to present a webinar and I have to figure out the tech part of it. So I think this part we can delegate. As smart business owners, we can delegate if we wanted to, and make sure that you just focus on what you do best. Okay, so thank you, Kim, for
Can
that
we
question.
all remember what it was like when we started to learn to drive? You know, we were totally unconsciously incompetent, and we worked our way through to being consciously competent to the point now where we can drive without, and we can do all these different things without even consciously being aware of it. So practice. And we had to practice when we all learned to drive. So do some dummy runs on your webinars with a friend, and then, or with a small audience, and just get yourself familiar with the technical aspects of what buttons to push where. So practice, and then the day that you go live, it'll feel much more. You'll feel much more comfortable, and everything will be fine on the day. It's just jumping in there and doing it.
We have Tammy joining us. Tammy says, hi, Hayley.
Hi, Tammy.
So a lot of them have come to see you. We haven't seen you for so long.
Oh.
But I think part of it is also like for me, myself, a lot of people think, oh, you're in the web design business and you do all this stuff and you're probably very tech savvy. And even when I think Gina is on this live stream. When I did one with her, I tell this story because it's really funny. Because she was already waiting for me inside the broadcast studio and I couldn't log in. I had a problem logging in. And I was like, and then she's like, I don't want to text Krista and ask her because that would stress her out. So she was like waiting patiently while I was trying to figure out, oh my God, that was pretty stressful. But in the end, it's like you learn and you learn not to do it again. You learn how to log in much, much earlier and not log in like 5 minutes before. Okay.
Yep.
So that's the technical glitch. All of us go through technical glitches. It could be internet, it could be software, stuff like that. So Hayley, let's talk about something that we're here to talk about, which is cash flow for your business. Okay, so what are some of the ways that a small business owner can think about specifically in these times in order to generate more sales for their business?
Okay. I think it comes back to your customer base again. And everyone on this call has a wonderful number of clients who think you are amazing. And you are. And they will support you and they love you. And if you reached out to them and asked them for their help, they would be happy to help you. So asking your existing clients who love you, which are your 20%, they're the top 20% of your clients that give you the 80% of your revenue. It's the old 80-20 rule in life.
Yeah.
They're the customers that you approach first. And you talk to first about asking them I need your help. I need more clients like you. And so who can you refer to me? So asking for a referral from your top 20% client base is the first way that I would approach getting more clients like them who will spend money happily with you.
Okay. So that's the first way, right? There are other ways. Yeah. Okay, for those who have just joined us, I just want to let you know that Hayley will be giving away her free ebook. And in her ebook, I've gone through it and you will learn some very good approaches, even more, right? More interesting stuff, more good stuff. So stay till the end so that we can give you how the instructions on how you can get the book, as well as a 4-part video training series.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll give you the link for that
Yeah.
later on. Yes. So asking for referrals, and a lot of people say to me, what do I say? And it's the same for asking for testimonials. So, which is something that Krista and I did recently. And I reached out to Krista and I said, could you please do a testimonial for me on how we met in a business sense and how I helped do some trainings, educational trainings for the Women Biz Sense networking group. And you were fantastic in actually saying what was needed in a testimonial, because just saying, oh, I know Hayley and she's great, isn't a testimonial. So it's really important that you help and guide the person that you want to give you a referral or give you a testimonial, to guide them into what they need to say to the person, either in that testimonial or what they need to say to the person who they want to say, oh, if somebody has a chronic back issue, for instance, and is always complaining about, oh, my back's stiff this week. And if you recommend a remedial masseuse, then you'd say, actually, I was at my masseuse this week and they asked me if I knew anybody who had a chronic back issue. And you're always complaining about your back. I'd like to refer you to my masseuse. And that's how you open up that conversation with your friend that you're thinking would be a good client match for your friend, the masseuse. So it's how you approach the conversation.
Would it help if you had a list of questions for the person? Would that help them, kind of nudge them, or like get them into that mode of giving you a better?
Okay. So there's some peak times where it's perfect to ask one of your customers, one of your much loved customers, for a referral, and that is straight after the incredible service that you've given, and that's, you must give exceptional service. That's a given, and when you follow up, that's another key area, I think, in business that is easy to neglect because we get busy. Taking time to follow up after a service or a meeting or a transaction is really important. How are you going? I just wanted to check, how are you feeling about since our last meeting, whatever, a 2 or 3 day follow-up. And that then would open up the opportunity for you to say, actually, your profession that you're in is exactly the type of client that I would like to expand and get more of. Who else do you know in your industry who may benefit from my services? And that's how you can start the conversation. So straight after a fantastic service or transaction, a follow-up call is another opportunity to ask for a referral. And that's a good start. Do those 2 things first.
Yeah. I think if a lot of the small business owners could even start with these 2 things, it would really make a difference in terms of the products or the services that they could continue to sell or offer to their clients, right? Or even the clients' friends.
Yeah.
Okay. So so I think a lot of times people have that fear of asking, right? There's definite.
And I think we also think as business people that we have to constantly be out there chasing for new clients. But if we really nurtured and looked after the clients that we had, then we would have not only a fantastic foundation of our business, but those clients that love us could be our walking, talking advertisements out there for us, doing the advertising for us, getting the clients in. And from my own experience, especially when I had my beauty salon, customers who you reached out to and asked for referrals, they didn't want anything in return for that. They were happy to do that because they loved, what I did, and they wanted other people to experience the same treatments that I gave. So your clients will happily help you and help you build your business if you ask. That's the secret.
But the secret is also to focus on the clients who love you, right? The clients who are like your best.
You must give exceptional, outstanding service in the first instance. Yes.
Okay. So then we come to the other part. We're going to talk about 80-20, right? We're talking about like now we're talking about the 20%, the top 20%. So in terms of getting referrals, when we're out there getting referrals, how should I say, how do we maximize that? Do we use a lot of our own time to do it, or do we use a automated system? I don't know. So that's one of the, I mean, you can ask them, right? You can ask them. But
so the system. So if you're looking at, maybe you've segmented your customer base and you've looked at about 100 clients that have utilized your services, 2, 3, 4 times, and they're regular customers, or they may have given you referrals in the past, that kind of thing. So you may have identified a number of customers that you want to work with. So if you're now just segment it down to, this week I'm going to speak to 10 of those customers. So eliminate overwhelm. Just do one thing at a time, so that every week you're working towards growing your customer list and having your customers work for you. So just do 10 at a time. You don't have to do all 100, therefore feel like I've got to take a day out of my week to do the administration. So chunk it down and make it that it's an easy process to do. And it's really enjoyable. It gives you an excuse to talk to your best clients and customers. That's nice. That's not hard work.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people is that for them, this is like work, right? They have to pick up the phone, they have to email, but this is good work. This is the work that brings the results. Yeah, good work. So your advice is to don't start with 100, even if you've got 100 best customers. Try to chunk it down into, maybe you're doing 10 this week and 10 next week and so on.
Yes.
So that makes it doable, and it doesn't take up all your time, so that you still can run your business, even though you're chasing after them for some referrals.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So do we have any questions, or maybe we have to keep asking? Okay, for those of you who are on watching this, make sure that if you have a question for Hayley, make sure you put your question down so that she can get to your question and we can answer questions as we have this conversation between the both of us.
Here's a statistic for you, Krista. A statistic for you that the cost of acquiring a new customer can be 7 times more expensive. So so that's why it's a no-brainer, given current economic climate, that we go back to basics and start to really look at our existing customer base first, because we don't need to be spending money on advertising and not knowing whether or not those results of that advertising will acquire us a customer in the first place. Really come back to basics and look at what you already have that's going to cost you nothing than a phone call to start the conversation with your existing customers.
Okay. So what about joint ventures? Let's talk about joint ventures now. In your opinion, how powerful or how useful are joint ventures, and can anyone do it? Can any business owner just...
Any business can do it. The key with joint ventures is making sure that you have an offer to that business that is going to benefit them, and in return you will also benefit. So it's not what I can get from you. We were talking about this before. It's what we can both, how we can both benefit. And if you think about the businesses in your own area, then you can align yourself with those businesses, and you can really work at building a community of services around you, which is really what Women's Biz Sense is all about as well, isn't it? It's about connecting and sharing services and with one another, and working smarter in that way, not working harder. So joint ventures can be any business. It's thinking about who has your customer as well, but we're not in direct competition with, that we might be complementary businesses, and how we can complement one another so that you will gladly refer clients to me and I can equally refer clients to you. And it's a 50-50 kind of scenario.
Do you have any examples of that perhaps some of the people in the audience can learn from? Any ways, any life examples that you've done for yourself, perhaps?
Oh yes. But I'd like everyone to start thinking about who they might approach for a joint venture, and then maybe put that in the chat and ask whether or not that person or that particular industry would be a good match for you for joint venture. In my own experience, I joint ventured when I had my beauty salon with hairdressers. I joint ventured with florists and with jewelry stores as well. They were fantastic joint ventures for me.
Oh, interesting.
We all had we all had the same client at one stage or another.
Okay.
And we could all offer a promotion, a promotion of some sort of flyer that you could gift. So the benefit for my florist and my jewelry store was they were offering their customers something of great value. I think I did a $50 bliss experience package, something along those lines. And the customer felt that was of value, and then they would call up and say, oh wow, I've just been to the jewelry store and I've got one of your gorgeous bliss vouchers. What do I do? Well, you come on in and I pamper you. So that was easy for me to get a new client that way, and the jewelry store felt like they were giving their clients something of value. The trick is that the customer at the jewelry store had to have spent a certain amount of money for them to qualify for that voucher. So in some ways you're qualifying whether that customer is a valued customer, an ideal customer, a high paying customer. So in that respect, then I can afford to gift away a $50 bliss package because I know that customer has been pre-qualified for me, and it worked beautifully.
So that's a beautiful tip in there, which I think a lot of people think JVs are just like, okay, I like you, I'm going to work with you, we're going to offer each other's perhaps flyers or share vouchers with each other. But the key thing that you did that was very smart was the threshold, right? How much they would be spending, and then they get your voucher, instead of just anyone who spent any amount of money in the jewelry shop.
Yes.
So I think that's value. Yeah. So that's a great takeaway.
And the other thing is things like VIP days, VIP evenings, that kind of thing, where you can come together with several community businesses and offer an experience in different ways, and different service providers coming in and speaking with you're getting each of you to contribute to bringing customers in to one event, and you're giving different services on the one time. So a VIP kind of activity is really good for multiple businesses to collaborate on as well.
Okay. So now, thinking of the current situation, we can't do the physical so much. Do you think that would actually work in a virtual platform? If we just say you had a VIP kind of event?
Well, look at I've been doing a lot on Zoom, And absolutely. So in Zoom, you can get, quite a number of people coming in, with it being a free or a paid. I think I'm on the first level of paid, and I can have 100 attendees in my Zoom meeting. And then you can have multiple hosts. So yes, it's a fantastic fun way of doing it. You can still do raffle prizes. You could still make it fun. Virtual backgrounds. You can make the background as well. And absolutely, you're limited by your imagination.
Okay. So because we want to give them some ideas too, because at this point in time, I think doing physical is needed, but it's hard, right? It's hard to get people to get there. So maybe we have to think a little bit more creatively and probably do it on an online platform or in a Zoom or in a Skype or wherever that you can bring people in. So we've got more people joining us. Hi, Daniel. And hi, Alexis. Alexis, I think Alexis knows you, right?
Hi, Alexis. Yes.
Yeah. So we're among friends.
Please ask a burning question. Please ask
Yes,
a burning
please ask
question.
a burning question. Okay, let me put up the burning question again so that people know what's the burning question. What's your biggest challenge in business right now? So for those who've just joined us, please let us know. We did, I think, two questions already. So we want to make sure that people who join us know that at the end, you're going to get something interesting from Hayley. So stay till the end. We will be talking more about all these things, probably in her book. She's got tons of stuff in her book. So now let's talk about something that's related to business, but it's about pricing. We always have this question all the time, right?
Yes,
I think it's the number one question that most small business owners always have, like, how do I sell more without lowering my prices? Because a lot of times you get asked for discounts. I guess in Malaysia you get asked for more compared to Australia.
Yeah. I think you need to know your numbers. You need to know what it is that you're selling, how much that widget, that thing costs you, and then what your expenses are, your whole cost, and you really need to know your numbers. And when you know your numbers, you know what your baseline is, to be able to present your product, to get your product out to your product or your service out to your customer. You know what your break even is. So know your numbers first. And once you know your numbers, then you'll know whether you have any leeway for discounting or not. And if you think about discounting, think about if you discount by 10%, you need to sell a whole lot more of what it is that you do in order to make up that difference. So put some value on yourself and your own products and your services, and know what your base figure is. I'd like to, and I know you would like to, Krista, eliminate the word discounting from business owners' vocabulary. And if you package up your services in bundles where you actually show the value again, then you're not competing on price. You're putting a value on what it is that you offer, and offer different price points so that you can attract different customers.
Yeah. So the concept here is to really focus on the value that you're bringing to your customer, so that they will not keep badgering you. Can I say badgering you for that discount, right? Because it's easy.
If you think about sometimes at the moment, so I'll be offering a 12-month coaching, but for a lot of people, 12 months is too big a time frame. So I've chunked it down into I'll be offering 6 months and 3 months. So it makes it much more attainable. So chunk it down, and so that someone can say, well, I'd love to jump on board with you, But 6 months is, I just don't know, if that's too big a commitment for me. So you can say, well, that's okay. I do have a 3-month program, and that can really kickstart, what it is that you want in your business. So think about how you can do what you do differently, and how you can do what you do better than your competition. That's my 2 tips for you.
Okay. And also don't forget the JVs, right? I think I saw Mala put down here, a possible JV partner are legal firms.
Absolutely.
Would that be?
Yes.
Because she does PR and editorial, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So I think like for a lot of people, I think thinking about JV partners are something that we never really put as a priority. We would always be thinking of how you want to grow the business on your own.
Yes.
Instead of asking yourself, now, who can I work with or collaborate with or talk to in order to work together? And I love the example that you gave of the jewelry store and when you're running the beauty salon. Was it the beauty salon?
Yes, yes.
So that was a perfect. But you must know. But at the end of the day, you must know who your customer is, right? I mean, who that specific demographic is. If you don't know, it's going to be a lot harder because you're just going to test and figure it out along the way. Okay, so what did Daniel say? So Daniel says the word is chunk down, especially this time when people are overwhelmed. Yes, that's definitely the word to use, chunk down.
Chunk it down.
Kim has a comment. So let me just pull up this comment. Comment to counter the question of discount is to give value over and above special know-how. Yes, create niche and eliminate competition. Okay, what's your take on that? Is that correct?
Yes, definitely create a niche. And if you this is the concept of what can you do differently in your business? Is there one aspect of what you do that you particularly enjoy, you're particularly good at, or you're great at, or an expert in, and really highlight that, and then start to base all your communication and your marketing, your emails, your social media based around what that expertise is. So creating a niche for yourself and being that go-to person, that expert in that particular area will blow your competition out of the water. There's no comparison.
Okay, so let's talk. Okay, since we're talking about the concept of discounts, is there any other way that what are the different things that we shouldn't be doing as business owners? Because I know there are a lot of things we should be doing, but there are a lot of things we shouldn't be doing. So one is shouldn't be giving discounts, especially if you know your value, right? So are there any other things that you have seen in your years of teaching and training?
I remember one client that I worked with in Australia, and she had a hair salon, and she was also doing some IPL laser work as well. So she was, thinking she was expanding her business, and she was explaining to me, yes, but, I'm putting back into my business. And the first thing I asked her was, are you paying yourself a wage? Oh, no. I put everything back into the business. And so one of the first things I remember is being a business owner very early on was pay yourself a wage from the beginning. It doesn't matter if it's a small amount at the beginning, because it's putting value on yourself. You have done the hard work, and there is your reward for your hard work, and see that reward grow. So otherwise you're not valuing yourself, and it's really important that you set your business practices up right in the beginning. So yes, reward yourself, pay yourself, and then know your numbers is really important in business, that you know what your costs are, where you can cut costs. It's really important now, particularly if you've got utility providers. You might be able to get a better deal by switching providers. by bundling up your utility providers, then you can maybe get a better deal. It really look at your costs and your expenses and see where you can make some savings there, because that can make the difference between you paying yourself a wage that week.
Okay, so those are some of the things they should be doing, right?
That shouldn't be not paying themselves. You should be paying yourselves, and you shouldn't be ignoring your base costs, your costs of doing business. You really need to know your figures, so don't fall into those traps.
Okay, so we're about 10 minutes away from the end of our live stream. I just wanted to ask you quickly if you had time to kind of summarize what you were telling us in this entire 50 minutes or so. What would be like 3 major takeaways that people who have joined us, maybe they caught bits in the beginning, bits in the middle, but now we want to give them something that can actually do something with, or something they can implement the moment they get off this Facebook Live.
Okay, great. What I would like to say for all business owners, regardless of what industry or what it is that you sell, or your product or your service, that concentrate on making sure that you deliver an exceptional service at every single opportunity. And you are your biggest voice out there. So unless you tell people, then you are your best self-promoter. So really get comfortable with talking about what it is that you do and the services that you provide. Look at your try and eliminate overwhelm in getting back into business. Look at the things in your business that you do particularly well. Look at your top 20% of your customer base and how you can nurture them, look after them, and love them even more, so that they will continue to do business with you. And then open the question to asking them for help in getting referrals for you. And that will be the easiest way for you to generate the same quality, high caliber customer that loves you. You'll get a reciprocate back in the same way. Joint ventures, start to talk to your other local businesses, how they're going, create a bit of a community of we're all in this together. How can we help each other, work together and offer services to one another's customer base? So with the objective of adding value to our customers. And if we're adding value to our customers, then it's a really easy referral and a joint venture to refer. And think about what it is that you do in your business that's different, and how can you do it better, and look at becoming an expert or niching in one particular area, and becoming really well known in that.
Oh, okay. So a lot of times is right now we're trying to look internally, trying to look at what we can do, because I think that is also the locus of control that we have. We can control what we have currently, our resources, what we are thinking, how we are thinking, right? So I like the fact that you talk a lot about getting referrals from the people who already love you, people who really like what you do, or like the stuff that you do for them. Because that is definitely the easiest way to get more sales into your business. Definitely the easiest way for us to also perhaps sometimes reconnect. Because I think a lot of times in business, we get so busy. And we never really pick up the phone and call the customers that really matter. So I think in this way, not only are you getting people referred into your business, but you also creating more, creating better relationship with your customer. Because the moment you pick up the phone and call them, I think that already is really heartwarming.
all of
compared to
your
like you just
customers
said.
can say, I've missed you, you know, what's been happening? And, you know, you've had conversations with your customers in the past, and it's about picking up where you left off, and just really building that relationship again. And what better time now when we have more time to spend with a little bit of one-on-one on the phone, you know, with our customers.
Or the other thing is, the moment you call them, they think of you, and they think that they haven't been buying from you.
Yes, and it's like, oh gosh, I must. You know, I must give you my credit card to, you know, I need to do this, I need to do that, you know. Fine, sure, no problem.
So I also believe that we all need to build relationships, because that's actually where business is all headed. Because if you have good relationships, whether it is with your customers or even people who are, I will call them evangelists, people who support you in some way or another, that actually makes a lot of difference. And within the community, if we can get the support of other business owners together with us in a JV or in a collaboration, that actually will help us pick up faster, rather than just sitting around and figuring out what to do on our own.
Yeah. And I think even approaching a JV, you know, if you said, you know, I really, you know, interested in your business, how's it going? How's it been? How long have you been in business? Be curious and be really interested in what they do, and then think, you know, and say to them, you know, I've worked with businesses in the past, and I like collaboration. I'd be interested in how we may be able to collaborate together and work together and help and support each other. And that's human touch. You know, we all like to collaborate. You know, working on your own as a solopreneur, you know, is pretty tough sometimes. But if you collaborate with another business owner, you're not alone. You know, you can bounce things off each other. Yeah.
So I think, great strategies, great ideas. And okay, now what are your hopes for the future? What are your hopes for the future? What are all our people's
hopes?
Yeah.
I think if we are able to be resilient, we've demonstrated that. We're here on this call today. We're bouncing back. So that ability to bounce back from adversity. If we expect change at any time, then we can pivot and adjust and adapt much more quickly. So I think the future is that expect change ongoing. None of us know what this new normal working life looks like, and we have to roll with the punches, and we have to be able to look forward, not look back, or if we do look back, just take the best bits to take from back what we did, and take those best bits and see how we can apply them for the future. So think positively about what the future holds. Okay, we might be doing it a little bit differently. We might be doing a little bit more of a hybrid in the next coming months. Let's hope, because, you know, I still do like that, love face-to-face connections. So I can't wait to start getting back out there again.
So because I wanted to ask you that, and then I wanted to ask those who are watching, what are their hopes for the future? Because I'm sure all of us are hopeful. If we're watching this, we want to bounce back, you know, in our business. We want to get back into, well, at least the new normal, whatever the new normal may be. But we want to be able to do what we do again, because I think all of us who are in small businesses love the stuff that we do. It's just that right now we're not able to do that in the physical form. So I want to ask those who are on this Facebook Live here, what are your hopes for the future? What are some of the things that, you know, you feel that you want to do, or you want to start doing or implementing? What are your hopes for the future? So if you have some comments, just put them in here. Daniel says, totally agree. Okay, this is what I have been doing, learning where I call just to have a well-being call. That's a nice way of putting a well-being call. And business just comes out at a later conversation. Yeah, I think a lot of times people need to start reconnecting.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
What business are you in, Daniel? I'd be interested to know.
Yes, what business are you in, Daniel? Could you let Hayley know? And then there's another one. Natalie says, "Hi, ladies. 3 good tips: connect, build relationships, be different in what you're good at, and build a community." Yeah,
Great.
I think building a community is actually a key thing these days. We know we can't do it on our own, right?
I'm
So
glad that came across, Natalie. That's fantastic. And nurture your customer base, nurture your top 20% of your customers, because that's where 80% of your revenue will be, what I call hidden in your business. So that's where you need to focus on right now, where you can start to really build momentum on getting back to business.
Yeah. Okay, that's a great one. Okay, so now we're going to give them the good stuff, right? We've given them a lot of good stuff, but this is like the good stuff. So this is Hayley's free ebook, The Art of Asking for Referrals. So this is the book that she has kindly given to us and to give out to all of you who emails us. Yes, so you have to email us. So that's the trick, right? You have to email us so that we can give it to you. And besides that, you can also, one more thing. I hope all of you on this call got the email address, info@redboxstudio.com. The other thing that you can get from Hayley is you can go to her website, fasttrackbusinesssuccess.com/my guided tour to get her 4 video training series for free, right?
Yes, and all you need to do is put your name and email address in, and you automatically get those 4 free video trainings on how you can dominate your create a market dominating position and identify who your perfect target market is, so that they could be really invaluable videos for you to watch to really kickstart perhaps niching your services and your products into something that's going to help you identify a perfect target market, to help you then identify your joint venture partnerships, and then to help you create a market dominating position.
Okay, so all that in your 4 video training series, right? So the other thing that I wanted to show you is actually, okay, I'll just put up Hayley's website. I think, wait, let's see what happened to Hayley. Hayley kind of got stuck here. So let me just add her back to the stream. Hayley, are you there? I think we kind of lost Hayley for a moment there. But anyway, this is Hayley's website. So you can go to fasttrackbusinesssuccess.com. You can get her ebook when you email us, but you can go there to check out all the other things that she offers currently in the business. What she does is she helps entrepreneurs get more revenue, and she also is a sales and marketing trainer. So that is what she does. So if you are interested in more of this kind of events, please remember to follow us, of course, right now on Facebook. But you can also go to redboxstudio.com, where you can sign up for our newsletter. Okay, let me just add her back to the stream. Hi, Hayley. You disappeared for a while.
I'm sorry. I went into the virtual ether.
Okay. So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about technical glitches, right? Suddenly you're there and suddenly you're frozen and you're gone. Okay. So anyway, I took that time to kind of tell them where they could find you in the website as well as our own website. So for those who want to be updated on all these upcoming episodes that we're doing, just sign up our newsletter, and or you can follow us on our Facebook page. Okay, the other thing is that besides all this, I wanted to also mention that next week we will actually have a very interesting guest. And this specific guest is also going to talk about marketing, but from a different perspective because he comes from a startup environment. But of course, the startup is pretty big now. It's not a tiny startup. So for those of you who are interested to learn from Faith, the Faith co-founder, I'm not too sure. Have you used the app, Hayley? Yeah, so it's a very popular app in Malaysia. So I'm going to be talking to Yo Chen Chow, the Faith co-founder, and he is going to share with us some strategies on how he markets himself as well as how he markets his business. So I'm pretty excited about that. So this series is all about marketing. It's all about business and entrepreneurship. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We have let's see whether Daniel has mentioned anything. Just now you asked him a question. I'm not too sure. Did he get to that? He replied, building a future connection and love for our young people and children. Okay, I think that's, you asked him what does he do.
What business he was in? Yes.
Yeah,
young people and children. Okay, fantastic.
Okay.
There's lots of joint venture opportunities in that space, definitely.
Okay. And then Mala says that her hope for the future. We are all more understanding and kinder to each other in speech and action as we forge a future together. Ask questions patiently, genuinely listen, and see how best to help. Yes, that's definitely for sure.
Yes.
Building a kinder, gentler community, right?
Yes.
And Kim, let's see what Kim has to say. Looking on good side, electronic and virtual meetings yield less costs. Question of adaptability and resilience, good prospect and future. Yes, thank you, Kim. Thank you for joining us today too.
Thank you.
Thank you. And of course, there's Cheryl who says, thanks, Krista, Hayley.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Cheryl.
Okay, finally, Daniel comes back with, this is what he does.
Aha. Oh, wow, yes.
Maybe you can contact Hayley, yeah. He does it in Malaysia. So Daniel does behavior profiling, coaching, and facilitation and training. Yes. So thank you so much again for all of you who joined us. See you next week, next Thursday, because I don't want people to think it's always on Saturday. Why I do it on Saturday and Thursday is because I think it's good to actually have a bit of different days so we know who can join us and who won't be able to join us. So see you all next Thursday for my chat with the Faith co-founder, Yo Chen Chow, and he will come in with lots of interesting data to blow your socks off. Okay, so thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you again. Bye.
See you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.